Baptism is really about like a process. In other words, first, Jesus baptizes you into the church. You know, it's kind of like you raise your hand and you say, yes, I want to be part of this family. I want to be part of the Christian family. I want to experience the Christian experience. So we raise our hand, we say, I want in. The Holy Spirit baptizes us into the family of believers. Now, once we're into the family, we start learning about Christianity, and they say, oh, we need to dunk you in this tank over here. It's like, well, okay, what's that about? Well, they explain that theologically to you, through the church. So you say, okay, I'm going to do that. And you're making a commitment to the family of believers that you have been baptized into by the Holy Spirit. And now you're baptized in water by the disciples of the church. First, you're baptized into the family. Then you go through the baptism by the disciples because you're called to do that as part of the church. And then the third process is you're baptized by the Holy Spirit. And you can go as far as you want with God, and He will keep baptizing you. He'll baptize you with fire. He'll baptize you with suffering. The further you go with God, the more He will baptize you into the same kinds of experiences that Jesus had. So if we look at baptism as a process, like I just talked about, for me, just raising my hand and saying, okay, I want into the family, that was a little bit of a dramatic experience because I was really down and out, having a difficult time. I was a little bit suicidal, really stressed out at home, stressed out on the job. My marriage was falling apart. So things were kind of a mess. And it was kind of like, well, okay, if I'm going to get into this Christian thing, maybe that'll help me, And I just called out to God. And there's a whole big old long backstory behind that, how that came about. But I raised my hand, I got in. Did my life dramatically change? No, it didn't. Okay, later, as I got involved with a church, and they said, well, you should go through this baptism process of being dunked in a tank. I was like, well, okay, if that's what we need to do, that's what I'll do. So I went through that process. And what I found over time is, as I walk with God and go further into the process, as He is leading me, things begin to change and things begin to happen in my life that are very dramatic and begin to improve my situation as I go along with God. Now, the third step for me, I was not baptized by the Holy Spirit until about 10 to 15 years after I was baptized in water by a disciple of the church. And that's when things really began to change dramatically in my life. So I began to experience the freedom and the deliverance that Jesus said He came to bring us. One of the things that's important to remember about this process of baptism, as I call it, being baptized into the church and then baptized in water and then baptized by the Holy Spirit, it's a journey that you go on with God at your side. And I get emotional when I talk about this because one of the things I've learned is God is a loving God. He loves me. He loves me personally and individually, and He can't wait to walk with me. So if you sit by the side of the road, you're missing all that. It's like you're missing the opportunity to walk along with a loving Father, a loving Spirit that can't wait to guide you and direct you into the reason that Jesus came. He came so that you could receive sozo. What is sozo? A Greek word that has 4 meanings: salvation, saved, healed, delivered, and made whole. Jesus came so that you could have a place in heaven, you could be delivered from demons here in this world now, you could receive physical healing, and He wants to help you make your life whole and complete. Why would we want to miss out on that?